What's up everybody, this is Airsoft Warfare HD, and today we are going to be doing a tabletop review of the M4S system by Tokyo Marui.
Alright guys, before we start the review, I want to talk a little bit about my previous reviews and my reviews in the future. I've been pretty disappointed with my previous reviews, so all the reviews going on forward from this one are going to be a lot more detailed, and I'm going to be talking a lot more about the actual weapon and how I used it in the real world than I've done in the previous videos. Alright guys, thank you. Bye.
Okay guys, we're going to first start off with the externals of the weapon, and then we're going to be talking a little bit about how this weapon is actually field tested and how it works in the real world. So it's an S system, looks very interesting, unlike any other M4 out there, and we're going to be talking a little bit about it. So the top rail right over here, this rail right over here, it's very big. It's about 13 inches, so you can put any scope you want on there, any optic. It's really, you can even make this into a DMR if you want. It's actually a great DMR package, like especially with its 16-inch barrel. Right here on the sides, both of these sides, we have 2.5-inch rails, and you can put any type of lasers or flashlights in there and it'll work just fine. And right here we have a 4-inch grip, or not a grip, but a 4-inch rail on the bottom, which you can use for grips and stuff like that. The only thing I don't like about this is it doesn't extend all the way over here, and I like to put my grips kind of close to the magwell, so it's kind of weird, but I think you can actually unscrew these and put it closer to the magwell. But I wish this whole thing extended, but whatever, it works this way also. And of course, you notice this big handguard here, which is actually kind of uncomfortable to hold at times. If you're in the field and you're running around, it's really awkward. Let me show you. It's just huge. Your fingers kind of wrap around the rails, and it's really weird. And of course, you can hold it at the magwell, but this weapon is kind of front heavy, so it's going to be really weird to hold at the, in the magwell. And right here on the bottom, these things are kind of sharp, so if you put your fingers kind of forward, just like this, it kind of digs into your fingers. So it's not the most comfortable weapon. I really recommend putting a grip on there. It's gonna make the weapon a lot more comfortable, trust me. Also, right here in the handguard is where the battery compartment is. So let me open this battery, and what you gotta do to open the battery compartment is you gotta unscrew these screws just like this. Let me try it out. It's really awkward. You gotta kind of push it in and like rotate it, and it's really awkward. So there we go. The biggest gripe I have with this weapon is putting the battery in. The first time I got it, it literally took me like 2 hours to put the battery in. I'm not kidding. I had so much trouble with it, but you get used to it, but it's so fucking painful because you gotta stuff the battery in there, and you have these long unnecessary wires you gotta stuff in there, and it's just so bad, and you even have a hard time closing it with the wires in there without any battery, except this time I actually got it pretty nicely there. So you can close it back up, and your battery space is very limited. It came with an 8.4 650 milliamp battery, which is so tiny. That's literally smaller than some of AAA batteries I've seen. You can literally get a little AAA battery with larger amount of milliamps than the battery that came with this. So that's very bad. I just got a nice 7.4 LiPo with it. It's about 1900 milliamps, and that lasts pretty nice, and it's very small. So if you get this weapon, I recommend getting a nice LiPo for it. It'll do you well. So, and there's not really much to talk about the externals. Of course, the hop-up is in here just like every M4, and the iron sights are pretty nice. This iron sight right here, it goes down and up. So mine is kind of broken actually, and this thing kind of wobbles, so that's not good. And right here, I don't know if you can see, I hope you can, but you can just push it down and you can pull it up. You don't have to press any buttons. So very nice. If you want to put some optic on here, you can do that very easily by, you know, these go down and up and stuff. So very nice. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the externals. Okay, now we're going to be talking a little bit about the performance of the weapon and how, you know, it performs in the real world. And I'm sorry that this review is kind of long. There's just so much things to talk about the weapon. I can't really, you know, just half-ass it. I really want to express everything about the weapon and kind of give you guys a really detailed review so you guys can see if you really want to actually purchase this expensive weapon. And as of now, I do recommend for you to buy this weapon if you are looking for a really good AEG. This is a great AEG. It has not broken once. You know, it's a Tokyo Marui. I actually got it used from, and it was heavily used like from the guy I got it from, and it works great. So okay, this weapon is really good in the field, but I do have some gripes with it. But let's, you know, start with the positives at first. So the positive is, of course, it has a nice motor. So even with an 8.4 volt, the ROF is pretty decent and pretty nice. It's especially when I put in my 7.4 LiPo in there, it just zip 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 just like a laser. It's really fast, and good thing, very good weapon. Also, here's another kind of positive, not really a huge positive, but the barrel length is very nice, 16 inches, and the weapon is pretty accurate, but it's not as accurate as you would think. It's really kind of medium. Even with .25s, the BBs just don't even fly that as good as I thought. I had a gas blowback, and you know, it's about the same price point as this weapon. It was a WPDW, and when I shot .2s out of there, .25s, I mean, the BBs literally were like lasers. They went on target every single time. With this weapon, they kind of go right and left and up and down, and they're kind of random. But it is pretty accurate on long distances, and the hop up is very good. So it's not a bad. It's a, you know, it's an intermediate barrel. It's not amazing, but it's not horrible either. I think you can fix this by probably fixing the barrel inside. You know, putting a Type or some 6.01 barrel in there. That'll probably help it. Okay. So that's pretty much all the positives. You know, it shoots good, of course. It shoots far, so very nice performance with the weapon. But I do have, you know, some gripes with the weapon. And one of the gripes I have with the weapon is the weapon stops shooting sometimes. Like if you're shooting it for a while, you know, this happened to me. I was shooting a guy. I went into cover. I popped out and I started shooting him again, and you know, the trigger wasn't working. It was like the battery was dead. So I'm like, ah, oh, damn it, the battery's dead. And you know, I'm kind of like, ah, crap. And I'm walking back to the, you know, to get a new battery, and I start shooting the gun. It's like, boop, 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 and you know, or that was a terrible AEG noise, but it was like, zzz, zzz, and I'm like, what the hell? It's working again.